110. It's going to be a one take today. Reason being, I got up, I did some administrative duties around the house and whatnot. And we went to my grandparents' house for the rest of the day. Did stuff with them, had dinner, came back here. At that point, I did yet more administrative duties. It's a fun time. Then Resvon and Sabrina and Kenan came over. We hung out for a few hours. Kenan stayed a little bit longer. Played around on Facebook, and then he just left. So I want to take care of a couple things. Got a comment a few days ago. I said I would reply to it sooner than I did, so I apologize for that. Guy asking about my grandparents' Cadillac. It's a 2001 Seville. It's the SLS, which is the luxury version. It's the same engine. It's a slightly different tune. I think they got different wheels and different exhaust, maybe. Very minor stuff between the two. So the 2001 Seville. Is it a good first car? I think you said this one has around 40,000 miles on it. So my grandparents bought the thing new it was actually 2 days before September 11th, 2001. Remember that date, obviously, due to the occurrences of 9/11. They've owned it since, so they're the original owner. It's got 42 or 43,000 miles on it now, less than 44. And it's had its issues. It has not been an incredibly reliable car. It does a lot of sitting around. As you can tell, it's 14 years old and only has 44,000 miles on it. The issues that it's had, the biggest issues that it has had, are in relation to the wheels. The wheels that Cadillac used and the wheels that General Motors still uses as of 2012. I don't know if they've changed in the last 4 model years, but they're chrome. But they're of such low quality that the inside, they rust. Then your tire leaks. You take it to your tire shop, they take the tire off, they look at the wheel and they say your wheel is rusting. We can fix it short term by sanding down the rust, putting cement on the wheel along the bead where it's rusting, reinstalling, remounting the tire, and then balancing the wheel again and putting huge weights on the opposite side of the cement. So that works for about 6 months, at least at the frequency of which they drove the car. Then you take the car back when it starts to leak again, they sand it down again and do it again. He got Cadillac to replace the wheels, all 4 of them, one time. The new wheels did the same thing within 2 years. So the wheels are a serious problem. About 2 years ago, we junked the stock Cadillac wheels. They were worth nothing. We got rid of those. And from Tire Rack, we bought a set of, I don't even know what they are, 16, 17-inch wheels, put those on there, and they've been fine since. So the wheels are a serious weak point. Before 20,000 miles, both rear struts started leaking hydraulic fluid, so they had to be replaced. The exhaust manifolds, I think, are a problem, as is the EGR valve. So there are issues with the car, but if you get some wheels on it, maybe you do a little bit of suspension work, it's probably okay. Body-wise, I see a lot of those cars rust out, and I actually don't see very many of them on the roads anymore, largely due to the fact that it's a General Motors car, and they just were not built to high-quality standards like the Japanese or the German cars are. They would rust out. So my grandparents, it gets driven once a week in the winter, and for the majority of the time they had it, he would wash it right after that and dry it and leave it in the garage. So there shouldn't be any rust on it. Looking underneath the cars, the exhaust braces, any sort of little chassis braces are totally rusty, like the M5 looked after 180,000 miles, half of which driven in winter condition. On the fender, it's got some rust bubbles coming out. It's kind of unacceptable in my opinion. It is a 14-year-old car, but it was very well taken care of and driven quite sparingly in the winter, so a little bit unacceptable on my point. So it has its issues, but at the end of the day, if you can get one with 40,000 miles, maybe one that doesn't have rust at a competitive price, probably a good deal. Now the question comes down to, is it a nice car to drive? It's General Motors. The thing floats around like crazy. You don't get a lot of feel from it at all. The brakes, I don't know why, you have to stand on the brakes in that car. I literally displace the weight of my body off the seat and onto the pedal to get it to slow down. I don't think the brakes in that car would be strong enough to lock up. It has ABS. I don't think that it could use them. So that could be a safety hazard if you drove the car hard or, hell, needed to panic stop. I don't really have confidence in it in that aspect. Maybe my grandparents just needs a fluid flush or something like that. The rotors also warp quite frequently. They're really small and they're really thin, so you've got to constantly turn down and replace the rotors. It also had a wheel bearing fail before 30,000 miles. What else? Driving-wise, engine's powerful. The power peak is like 4,000 to 7,000 RPM, and the way the transmission is, it's a 3-speed automatic with overdrive. and it always wants to shift about 1800 revs. So if you mash the gas, it'll drop down 2 gears and go. But while you're waiting for the revs to build to the torque point, it does not at all feel like a 300 horsepower car. I would venture a guess that a E39 530 with a 5-speed would absolutely beat it to 60. Certainly in braking, certainly in driving characteristics, reliability, build quality, comfort, all of the above. The headlights, they're HIDs. They are not very bright at all. I have not said a lot of good about this car, but if you can get it for the right price, it's a very comfortable car. It's got incredibly comfortable seats. It's got a Bose sound system that actually sounds very nice. Technology is good. At least my grandparents has rear parking sensors. It has the Bose sound system. It has lumbar support, all power seats, heated front and rear seats, which is cool. No fog lights. So I guess it's up to you. Really, for my money, though, I would much rather go and buy a higher mileage, even more beat up 5 Series or 3 Series, and maybe put a little bit of time in that, and spend some time doing some DIYs. That'll save a ton of money, and go that route. But you get the Cadillac for a good price. It'll probably be a good car for a while. Not something that's probably going to want to be on the road in 10 years, but hell, if you take good care of it, anything will be on the road in 10 years. So that's my thought process and my input on that. Other than that, I am pretty tired. I'm going to go up and shower and get to bed. Tomorrow's Sunday. What am I doing tomorrow? I need to mow. I really need to mow and blow some leaves. Tomorrow's going to be 46. It snowed today. Today was the first day it snowed. You could see some flakes coming down. It was about 40 degrees, 42 degrees today. Nothing stuck, nothing accumulated, and hopefully will for several more weeks, if not months. But we saw flakes today. Tomorrow the high, I think, is only 45 degrees, so it's going to be a very uncomfortable mowing day, and I've got to do leaf work before I mow, so tomorrow's going to suck. Cavs preseason game tomorrow night. Look forward to that. And then Walking Dead Season 6, Episode 2 tomorrow night. So that's going to be tomorrow. We'll try to film a little more, and I will talk to you guys then. So hope your weekend's going well. Good night.